1. Voldemort accidentally created the Chosen One. Destiny didn't select Harry. Voldemort did. The prophecy was a whisper, not a verdict. It didn't name a single child. Two infants stood on the edge of history, Harry Potter and Neville Longbottom. Either could have become the Chosen One. The prophecy only predicted, Voldemort acted, and in acting, he carved fate like a sword into stone. He targeted Harry, not because prophecy guaranteed victory for the boy, but because the child resembled him. Half-blood, unprotected, a symbol of what Voldemort once was and despised. That recognition drove him, a fear of reflection disguised as control. So he struck first, and by trying to prevent the rise of his rival, he manufactured him. Harry's scar was not protection alone, it was Voldemort's unintended stamp of destiny, a consequence born of panic, not prophecy. Fate isn't always a divine plan. Sometimes it's a tyrant's mistake echoing through a lifetime. Harry wasn't chosen by magic. He was chosen by a monster terrified of its own shadow, and that fear built the very hero that destroyed him. 2. Snape fought for Lily, not the light. Snape didn't fight for good, he fought for grief. He never transformed into a saint. He never found peace. His allegiance lay not with Dumbledore, not with Hogwarts, not even with the idea of defeating Voldemort. His loyalty was to one memory, Lily Potter. His life after her death wasn't redemption, it was punishment he embraced willingly. He taught cruelly, loved silently, and suffered constantly. Every harsh comment, every cold expression, every cutting word was armor around a heart shattered by regret. His Patronus didn't reveal purity, it revealed pain so potent it refused to fade. He protected Harry not out of love for the boy, but because losing Lily was a wound that never scarred. Seeing Harry meant facing both the part of Lily he cherished and the part of James he hated. And still, he endured, because Lily's memory commanded him. Snape was not healed by love. He was controlled by it until his final breath. Heroes rise, villains fall. Snape just bled loyalty and guilt forever. 3. Dumbledore's final plan was to die. Dumbledore didn't fall, he orchestrated his exit. When the cursed ring began eating away at his life, Dumbledore understood time was a guest he could no longer entertain. But instead of surrendering quietly, he turned his death into strategy. He asked Snape to kill him, not out of mercy, but manipulation of fate. The plan protected Draco from committing murder, confirmed Snape's allegiance to Voldemort, and most importantly, prevented the Elder Wand from serving the Dark Lord. He didn't die powerless. He died in control. That quiet wand drop, that resigned posture, it wasn't despair. It was an execution of a carefully chosen ending. His fall wasn't a loss, it was a checkmate, and when the world mourned him, he had already won the first move in the final battle. 4. Harry won by letting himself be killed. Harry's greatest act wasn't survival, it was surrender. He didn't raise his wand, he didn't run, he didn't negotiate. He walked into the forest, heart steady, knowing death was the price for peace. And unlike every wizard who feared mortality, Harry met it willingly. He didn't miraculously survive. He allowed himself to die. The killing curse worked. It killed the Horcrux inside him. But because he accepted death without fear, the protection woven into his existence, Lily's sacrifice, his own choice, shielded his soul. Voldemort used force. Harry used faith. In that forest, power failed and courage prevailed. Most heroes live by fighting. Harry lived by choosing to let go. And death, respecting his courage, handed him back to life. He didn't defeat death. He befriended it, and in doing so, broke its hold on him. 5. Voldemort's own blood protected Harry. Voldemort's resurrection was not victory. It was failure disguised in flame. He believed taking Harry's blood would anchor him beyond fate. He thought he was stealing protection. But magic doesn't bend to arrogance. In choosing Harry's blood, he unknowingly tied Harry's life to his own. Every breath Voldemort took kept Harry alive. Every heartbeat continued Harry's story. The spell that made him stronger made him vulnerable. It was not triumph. It was a curse disguised as power. Voldemort believed immortality came from domination. But magic honors ancient truth: life cannot be stolen. It can only be shared or lost entirely. He tried to conquer mortality and guaranteed his enemies' survival instead. A ruler so obsessed with living forever created the one person he could never kill. 6. The Elder Wand served mercy, not murder. The Elder Wand was never mastered by cruelty, only by worthiness. For centuries, power-hungry wizards chased it, believing the wand belonged to the strongest killer. But magic has older laws than ambition. The wand did not yield to violence. It yielded to values. Harry didn't win it through force. He earned it by disarming Draco, not murdering him. The wand recognized restraint over rage. Voldemort's greatest failure wasn't ignorance. It was blindness to humility. He believed force commanded loyalty. Harry proved integrity did. In the final duel, the wand didn't betray Voldemort. It simply never belonged to him at all. Power doesn't always serve darkness. Sometimes it bows to those who choose not to abuse it. Such magic is ancient, and Voldemort never learned its language. 7. Draco saved Harry by staying silent. Not every hero raises a wand. Sometimes they simply refuse to speak. At Malfoy Manor, Harry's face swollen, identity blurred, the room demanded truth. Voldemort's supporters leaned in, hungry for blood and praise. Draco Malfoy stared, recognition flickering, fear shaking his bones, and he chose silence. He didn't help Harry out of bravery. He didn't do it out of friendship. He did it because cruelty had finally exhausted him. Because for the first time, doing nothing was an act of rebellion. Draco didn't break chains loudly. He loosened them quietly. His hesitation didn't win the war, but it protected the boy who would. Sometimes redemption does not roar. It whispers. And sometimes the smallest mercy alters the world. 8. Crookshanks recognized the real villain. Crookshanks didn't simply sense something off. He recognized a monster wearing a harmless face. Years before Hermione ever walked into the magical menagerie, that ginger half-Kneasel had already crossed paths with Sirius Black and Peter Pettigrew in their animagus forms. When the Potters died, chaos scattered every survivor, but memories lingered, especially in magical creatures who bond through instinct, loyalty, and emotion. So when Crookshanks first saw Scabbers, he didn't react like a curious cat. He reacted like a witness meeting a criminal again. He protected the murderous dog everyone feared. He hunted the rat everyone trusted. Not because he was odd, but because he remembered who caused the tragedy. The cat wasn't a side character. He was a silent historian, and justice, disguised in fur. 9. Lily's love turned into ancient protection magic. Lily's sacrifice did not simply protect Harry, it rewrote the rules of killing for the Dark Lord. A mother's love didn't just form a shield, it triggered ancient magic that predates Hogwarts itself. When Lily chose death over her child, she summoned a force Voldemort could never comprehend or counter. She didn't cast a spell, she became one. The killing curse hit Harry. But Lily's sacrifice stood taller than death itself. Voldemort wasn't denied victory, he was cursed with failure. His magic backfired because true sacrifice binds fate with threads even the darkest sorcery cannot cut. Love wasn't a theme, it was an ancient weapon, and Lily Potter wielded it better than any wand ever could. 10. The sword of Gryffindor chose the worthy. Gryffindor's sword did not appear, it answered. You don't summon the sword by wanting it. You summon it by proving you deserve it. Harry in the chamber didn't defeat the basilisk alone. He forged the weapon that would one day end a Dark Lord. When basilisk venom touched the blade, it bonded with it, turning it into a Horcrux destroyer long before Harry understood Horcruxes even existed. Neville later drew the same sword, not by coincidence, but by character earned through scars, loss, and loyalty. The sword didn't serve bloodline, it served courage, and courage prepared the weapon years before the war truly started. 11. Kreacher led a house elf rebellion. Kreacher's battle cry was not comic relief, it was a redemption manifest. Broken by grief, poisoned by pureblood ideology, driven by loss, Kreacher belonged to darkness until Harry did something his previous masters never did. He showed him respect. Old magic moves in the currency of loyalty, not power. And when Kreacher felt dignity again, he rose with the fire of a soldier once commanded by Regulus Black, the boy who defied Voldemort before anyone knew his name. Kreacher didn't just join the fight, he led his own army into it. No wand, no prophecy, no chosen destiny, just loyalty reborn into fury. He fought not for Harry alone, but for the memory of a master who died trying to destroy evil first. Sometimes the smallest voice carries the oldest vengeance. 12. Wormtail died because magic remembered. Wormtail's end wasn't punishment, it was magic keeping receipts. The silver hand Voldemort gifted him wasn't kindness, it was a leash, a cursed limb forged from cruelty itself. So, when Wormtail hesitated, when mercy flickered for the briefest heartbeat, dark magic recognized treason in the making. That hand didn't malfunction. It followed the oldest law of dark loyalty. A servant who hesitates dies for doubt alone. Wormtail's entire life was fear-based obedience, until a single second of recognition shattered it. He did one human thing, and the magic built around inhumanity crushed him instantly. His betrayal killed the Potters. His hesitation killed him. A coward died not by courage, but by a missed moment of it. 13. Trelawney's madness was real prophecy. Trelawney didn't ramble. She warned the world in code no one respected. Prophecy isn't elegant, it fractures the mind that carries it. Trelawney shook, muttered, fidgeted, layered insight under eccentricity because true vision rarely arrives polished. It arrives overwhelming. She foresaw the Dark Lord's return, a servant's escape, a tower struck by lightning, a death that would fracture the world, all while the school mocked her. But the universe wasn't laughing, it was listening. Where others saw incense smoke, she saw fate. Where they saw nonsense, she whispered doom. People dismiss prophecy when they fear clarity. Trelawney spoke truth in riddles because truth, unfiltered, destroys fools. 14. Draco refused to become a monster. Draco Malfoy didn't become a hero. He refused to become a monster, raised in privilege, fed ideology since childhood, handed expectations heavier than gold. Draco was designed to be a weapon. But when the moment came, wand shaking, heart collapsing under fear, he didn't cast the killing curse. He didn't choose good, he refused ultimate evil. And sometimes that's more powerful. He couldn't save Dumbledore, he couldn't save the world, but in the manor, with Death Eaters expecting loyalty, Draco looked into Harry's face and denied Voldemort the victory of certainty. He didn't shout rebellion, he whispered resistance. Sometimes survival is victory, sometimes hesitation is heroism, and Draco's refusal was enough to break a prophecy of darkness over him. 15. Harry became the master of death by walking away. Harry didn't conquer death to rule magic, he learned death to walk away from power. At the end of war, with the Elder Wand in his hand, he possessed godhood. The Hallows were his. Immortality, resurrection, invincibility, all three bowed to him. And he broke the cycle by choosing not to use them. He didn't keep power, he freed himself from it. True mastery isn't winning. True mastery is refusing temptation after victory. Where Voldemort chased control, Harry sought peace. Where dark wizards tried to be gods, Harry chose to remain human. And in doing so, he became what Voldemort never could, a soul at rest. It's a story about hearts defeating fear, sacrificing outliving power, and humanity outshining immortality. Wands clash, prophecies whisper, death walks beside heroes and villains alike. But the world changes only when someone chooses grace over glory. Magic didn't save the wizarding world. Courage, loyalty, and love did, and those spells never break.